Next, it is now time to address the elephant in the room.
Yay.
And that is, of course, can you believe that I am getting so good at Pop-A-Shot? No, of course, that's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Charlie Strong.
Yep.
So Charlie Strong, for those who don't know, is the head coach of the Texas Longhorns. Also, this is football, and what you want to do is you want to take this ball and you want to head it, and you get four chances to get 10 yards. Anyway.
Right.
So a funny thing happened on the way to Texas's bowl eligibility as they were going to Kansas. Kansas, who has not beaten an FBS team since 2014. Kansas. I want to be clear about this because we love David Beatty, a former Texas high school football coach.
Beatty is awesome.
He's got a lot of great former Texas high school football guys on his staff, including Kenny Perry, formerly of Arlington Bowie.
Yes.
He's got a lot of great guys on his staff, a lot of guys we really like, and a lot of Texans. Keon Kenner, the running back for Little Elm,
right,
from Little Elm, was kind of the driving force behind this. So I want to be clear that we're happy for Kansas,
right?
Which is a weird feeling.
Sure.
But this is the kind of loss, Kansas 24, Texas 21 in overtime, that in a vacuum gets you fired.
Right.
No, like regardless if you have a relatively safe job, if you go to Kansas and you lose, that is a game that gets you fired.
Yeah.
It definitely gets you fired when you are already on the hottest hot seat that's ever been hot.
Right.
And that's exactly what is going on in Austin. And there were tons of reports and tons of rumors and tons of circulation that Charlie Strong is getting fired.
Yep. Maybe
as early as today. Let's be real about something. I take Texas at their word when they say that they're going to wait till after the year. They're going to wait till after the season.
I mean, you probably shouldn't, but
I'm going to.
Okay. Or are you just simply saying that they will not make an announcement until after the season?
Correct.
Not that they haven't already made a decision.
I think they've. Let's put it this way: if I am getting inside their head, and that's a very dangerous game to play, but if I'm getting inside their head, I will tell you that they have already made a decision, and the decision is that Charlie Strong is going to be gone.
Multiple national outlets reported that yesterday.
Yes, that's what's going to happen. There is no point though in firing him tomorrow or today. There's no point because you still have a bowl out there. You can still win on Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, and if you beat TCU, then you're bowl eligible. And so why would you sabotage your own chances to do it just so you can get a head start?
Mostly
that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, no, it's more just to not have him dangling by a thread, right? Like that's what today was. That you saw the press conference; it was a nightmare, right? Like, as our good friend Mike Finger tweeted just a short while ago, the guy who just lost to Kansas and clinched the worst 3-year record in UT history is now the most sympathetic figure on campus. Well handled, right?
Okay. Here's my question. What's the good way to handle it then?
Like I said, we talked about this before the show. I think the best way to handle this is the way Iowa State handled Paul Rhodes last year. It was over. Everyone knew it was over. Announce over the weekend that he's fired. We've offered him the chance to coach his last game. He's accepted, but we'll be moving on. Everyone knows where it stands. Players get a chance to say goodbye. Everyone understands what's happening. It's not about getting a head start. We all know Texas has already gotten a head start on their, recruitment of a new coach, whether it's official or not.
I just think
I think it's better to just cut ties and make sure everyone knows where everyone stands. Because now, if you believe the reports yesterday, they have made the decision to fire him. Today and all this week, his supporters and the players especially are going to be extremely vocal about how this can't happen. He has to stay. And lots of people defending him have showed up today, most of them within the university, like professors, parents, those sorts of things, whereas the only major detractors are media and fans. Fans that just want him gone. Right? So it's a weird clash from a PR standpoint.
I agree, but my thought is I guess we have to establish a goal here. And so if you are Texas, what is your goal? Is the goal still to make a bowl? Because and that's fine. If it is, then there's no point in firing him, because at that point you are only sabotaging your own chances to make a bowl game, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think you could easily make the argument that by telling him it's over, the player's playing very hard in the last game for him that they know will be the last game for him. They could still make a bowl.
I think it's different sides of the same coin.
I don't think they give a dead damn about the bowl at this point. I think they're ready to move on, and the bowl game is window dressing.
Okay. Then that's fine.
Right.
You can still fire him even if he makes a bowl. But I'm saying that for me, I just don't think that there's a ton of upside to firing him right now. And if Texas is already punting on the remainder of the 2016 season, then why not at least, you're going to pay him anyway. Why would you go and put somebody else in there, and why not just give yourself the best chance to win on a national stage on Friday? That's to me.
I guess. From my perspective, it's more just they should just cut him loose. Just get it over with.
Listen, I think we're in agreement that he's not going to coach next year, and he shouldn't coach next year. He shouldn't be the coach of the Longhorns next year. Now, how much of it is his fault can certainly be, decided. But they have not made the strides that you would expect them to make in 3 years. I don't think that's really up for debate. And especially losing in back-to-back years, you now have a shutout loss at Iowa State and a loss to Kansas.
Sure.
You can't do that. You can't do that and keep your job.
Right.
So now the question now becomes, they're not going. Okay, whether or not they should fire him, they're not going to fire him before Friday.
Right.
In my opinion, I think that they have made that decision pretty clear that if they're going to fire him, then he was going to walk out there on Longhorn Network,
right,
where the lead-in was them losing to Kansas.
Sure.
And he was going to say, "I've been fired.
Right.
That we're moving on." So,
but do you think
they're not going to do that?
Do you think there's a chance for a Les Miles situation here? They go out, they win big on Friday, the players carry him off the field, and the administration realizes they missed their chance and they need to bring back for
the
one more
difference
year.
between Les Miles. The difference between Les Miles and Charlie Strong is that Les Miles won.
No, I get it. I get that part.
Like Les Miles, last year was a crappy year for LSU, and they went 8-4. I mean, people were. This is a guy who is. This is a guy who is going to finish with a losing record at Texas. He has not developed the players that he has needed to develop to win.
Yeah.
And he's run out of excuses.
Yep.
He's run out of excuses because this year was supposed to be the year. You have new coordinator in Sterling Gilbert, and they changed the offense. You have a quarterback that everybody believes is the guy, and that was always the excuse. Oh, well, he just doesn't have a quarterback yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a quarterback yet.
True freshman, though.
True freshman, I agree. But he's had the quarterback now. And the offense hadn't been the problem.
Yeah, I mean, from my perspective, if you want to make a case for Charlie, if you're trying to be a sympathetic from that perspective, my thing would be, look, he made one major mistake as the Texas head coach. He should never have had Sean Watson as his offensive coordinator from the outset.
Agree with that.
Let's give him a mulligan on the first year, realize he made the right decision now. We'll give him one more year to figure it out from here. That would be my stance. Because
so you would give Charlie Strong a fourth year.
And here's why. We've talked about this on the show before. If you know you can get Herman, 100%, you are going to get Herman no matter what happens. I buy in. If there's any chance Herman could get lured away by someone else, and then you're left without Charlie Strong or Tom Herman, I think you're think you're in deep trouble.
I think there are enough. Okay. I want to make sure I organize my thoughts correctly here.
Sure.
I think Charlie Strong is the number one with a bullet choice hard stop. He needs to be
Herman.
the choice. Who did I say?
You said Charlie Strong.
Yes. I think Tom Herman is the number one choice.
Right.
Period.
No,
Texas needs to go get Tom
Herman.
Herman.
On that.
There's
for
that.
Sure.
I also think that there are enough other guys out there that if Tom Herman does go to LSU, let's say, and he takes over at LSU, I think there are enough guys out there, including Les Miles,
Les Miles, really? Man. Well, you're talking to the wrong guy because I don't buy Les Miles at all.
Okay.
I love him. He's entertaining, but he's
the
not
national champion,
and he's too old.
The national champion.
Nah.
Do you or you go and you take a flyer on a guy like PJ Fleck at Western Michigan?
Too soon.
Or
he needs a mid-level gig.
I just think that there are, or you call SMU and you go get Chad Morris.
Hey, I'd be all about that, but they're not going to do that.
So my point is, I think there are enough options that if you are holding on to Charlie Strong only to hold on to him, I just don't think. I think that then you're treading water. I think the program has already moved on without him.
2 words: Lane Kiffin.
Oh, God. Let me
really
speak
fun,
to
right?
every athletic director in the state.
This job would be so much more fun if Lane Kiffin was the Texas head coach. Correct?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Let me speak directly to every athletic director of every FBS team in the state. If you hire Lane Kiffin, we're done.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you for
not
the
thank
entertainment.
you.
Please
Absolutely
do it.
not. No. So
Unbelievable.
it's a bad situation. There are no good options here. But I do believe that he's going to be fired after the game on Friday. It'll probably come down Saturday or Sunday. And then they'll move on. They'll move very hard after Tom Herman. I don't think that holding on to Charlie Strong for the sake of holding on to him, when you would basically be giving him a lame duck year. Right now he's getting a lame duck week.
Yeah.
Giving him a lame duck year does not seem like it's in the best interest of the Texas Longhorns program.
A lame duck if he wins.
Do you believe he would win?
I think whoever coaches him next year is going to win a lot more than they've been winning.
I think that there is a
I'm with Charlie on that one.
I think there's a fundamental problem that's wrong, and the fundamental problem is that they have not developed these players. Okay? Yeah. The elephant in the room is that Malik Jefferson was a 5-star can't-miss prospect, and he has been terrible this year.
Terrible, but not a 5-star can't-miss prospect.
He has not been good.
Right.
He's not been good. So, for me, there's obviously, we will talk a lot more about this as the actual news comes down. There's no news right now except that Charlie Strong remains the coach. He will be the coach on Friday when they play TCU almost certainly. And from there, it's a big question of what if.